Good morning, beautiful souls. Today, I want to talk to you about something that may seem daunting at first, but it's one of the most empowering gifts you can give yourself going on the journey by yourself. Now, this doesn't mean isolating yourself or shutting others out. No, it's about embracing your path, trusting your inner wisdom, and finding strength in your own company. Trusting yourself is one of the most profound acts of self-love and self-empowerment. Yet for many of us, it feels elusive, as though trusting ourselves is something we have to earn or be given permission to do. But the truth is, trusting yourself is not about knowing everything or always making the right choices. It's about believing in your innate wisdom, understanding that you are capable of guiding yourself through life's challenges, and recognizing that within you is a deep reservoir of knowledge that can be tapped into at any time. From the moment we are born, we are often conditioned to look outside ourselves for guidance, validation, and approval. As children, we are told what is right and wrong, what is acceptable and unacceptable, and we grow up relying on others' parents, teachers, friends, society to tell us who we should be and what we should do. While guidance from others can be helpful, it can also create a pattern of distrust in our own abilities. We begin to doubt ourselves, our decisions, and our inner voice. To begin the journey of self-trust, the first step is to recognize that you already possess the wisdom you need to navigate your life. You don't need to have all the answers right now, and it's okay to make mistakes along the way. Trusting yourself means trusting the process of life. It's about knowing that even when things don't go according to plan, you have the ability to adjust, learn, and move forward. Trust is not about certainty. It's about faith in your own capacity to handle whatever comes your way. One of the reasons people struggle with self-trust is because they are afraid of making the wrong choices. They fear the unknown and worry that if they trust themselves, they might fail or lead themselves down the wrong path. But failure is not the enemy of trust. In fact, it is an essential part of the learning process. When you trust yourself, you also give yourself permission to fail, to grow from your experiences, and to become stronger and wiser as a result. Every time you make a decision and follow through with it, regardless of the outcome, you are strengthening your ability to trust yourself. The more you rely on your inner guidance, the more confident you become in your own judgment. This is not to say that you should ignore the input or advice of others, but rather that you should filter it through your own internal compass. Take what resonates with you and discard what doesn't. Remember, no one else is living your life but you. No one else knows what is best for you like you do. Others can offer their perspectives, but you are the one who must ultimately decide what feels right for you. Often we look for approval and validation from others because we lack the confidence to trust our own judgment. We seek outside confirmation that we are on the right path, but this can lead to confusion and doubt. When you constantly seek the opinions of others, you may find yourself pulled in different directions, unsure of which way to turn. This is why it is so important to cultivate a strong sense of self-trust. When you trust yourself, you don't need anyone else to tell you what to do. You are secure in your decisions because they are aligned with your own truth. One of the most powerful ways to build self-trust is through mindfulness and self-reflection. Take time each day to sit quietly with yourself, to tune into your thoughts, feelings, and intuition. Meditation, journaling, or simply spending time in nature can help you connect with your inner voice. The more you practice listening to yourself, the clearer your inner guidance becomes. You will begin to recognize the subtle nudges and whispers from within, guiding you toward what feels right and true for you. Another aspect of self-trust is the ability to forgive yourself when things don't go as planned. We are all human, and we all make mistakes. When you trust yourself, you understand that mistakes are not a reflection of your worth or your ability. They are simply opportunities for growth. Instead of beating yourself up when things go wrong, practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that you are doing the best you can with the knowledge you have at the time. Trust that even in moments of doubt or failure, you are still on your path, learning and evolving. Self-trust also involves being honest with yourself. This means acknowledging your feelings, desires, and needs without judgment. It's easy to suppress or ignore our inner voice when it tells us something we don't want to hear, but this only leads to more confusion and self-doubt. To trust yourself fully, you must be willing to face your truth even when it's uncomfortable. By doing so, you honor your own experience and create a deeper connection with yourself. As you continue on the journey of building self-trust, remember that it's a process. It's not something that happens overnight, and it's not always easy. There will be times when you doubt yourself, when fear creeps in, and when the opinions of others feel overwhelming. But with each decision you make from a place of self-trust, you strengthen your inner foundation. You begin to feel more empowered, more confident, and more at peace with who you are. Trusting yourself is about reclaiming your power and realizing that you are your own greatest guide. No one else can walk your path for you, and no one else knows what is best for you better than you do. So take a deep breath, tune into your inner wisdom, and trust that you are capable of navigating your life with grace, strength, and love. You have everything you need within you. You always have. Many people fear being alone, viewing it as a sign of weakness, isolation, or even failure. Yet being alone can be one of the most powerful experiences in life, offering opportunities for profound self-discovery, healing, and growth. Letting go of the fear of being alone is about shifting your perspective on solitude. Instead of seeing it as something to avoid or fear, you can embrace it as a necessary part of your journey, a time for self-reflection, inner peace, and the development of deeper self-love. The fear of being alone often stems from a deeper underlying belief that we are incomplete without the presence of others. Society, media, and cultural norms frequently reinforce the idea that being in a relationship, having constant companionship, or being surrounded by people is the key to happiness and fulfillment. However, this external validation can create a dependency on others for our emotional well-being. We become afraid that if we're alone, we'll somehow be lacking, as though our worth is tied to the presence of others in our lives. But being alone does not mean you are lonely, and it certainly doesn't mean you are incomplete. In fact, solitude is where you can cultivate the most meaningful relationship of all, the one you have with yourself. When you are alone, you have the space and time to explore your own thoughts, feelings, and desires without the influence or expectations of others. It's a time to listen to the quiet whispers of your heart and soul, to get to know yourself on a deeper level, and to reconnect with the essence of who you truly are. One of the reasons people fear being alone is because it can bring up uncomfortable emotions, feelings of loneliness, inadequacy, or even fear of the unknown. But these emotions are not something to be feared or avoided. They are part of the human experience and can be powerful teachers if we allow them to be. Instead of running from these feelings, we can embrace them as opportunities to understand ourselves better. When we sit with our emotions and acknowledge them without judgment, we begin to heal the parts of ourselves that have been neglected or suppressed. Solitude gives you the chance to confront these feelings head-on and realize that they don't define you. You may feel lonely at times, but that doesn't mean you are unloved or unworthy. You may experience fear, but that doesn't mean you are powerless. These emotions are simply part of the process of getting to know yourself, of learning how to be comfortable in your own company. The more you spend time alone, the more you realize that you are enough just as you are, and that your happiness doesn't depend on anyone else. Being alone also allows you to cultivate independence and self-reliance. When you're constantly surrounded by others, it's easy to rely on them for emotional support, validation, or even decision-making. While it's natural to seek guidance and support from others, it's equally important to develop the ability to stand on your own, to trust yourself, and to make decisions that are aligned with your own values and desires. Solitude helps you develop this inner strength. It teaches you that you are capable of handling life's challenges on your own, and that you have the resources within you to navigate whatever comes your way. The fear of being alone often dissipates when we realize that solitude is not a permanent state. Just because you spend time alone doesn't mean you'll be isolated forever. Relationships, friendships, and connections with others are an important part of life, but they are not the only sources of fulfillment. When you learn to enjoy your own company, you begin to see relationships as something that enhances your life rather than something that defines it. You're no longer afraid of losing others because you know that you are whole and complete on your own. Another key to letting go of the fear of being alone is shifting your mindset about solitude. Instead of viewing it as a negative experience, begin to see it as a gift. Solitude is a time for rest, rejuvenation, and creativity. It's a time to focus on your passions, explore new interests, and nourish your soul. When you're alone, you have the freedom to do whatever brings you joy without the constraints of others' expectations or opinions. It's a time to recharge and reconnect with yourself, to nurture your dreams, and to cultivate a deeper sense of purpose. For many people, being alone can also be a time of spiritual growth. In the quiet moments of solitude, you can connect with a higher power, whether that's through meditation, prayer, or simply spending time in nature. Solitude provides the space to deepen your connection with the divine, to listen to the guidance of your intuition, and to gain clarity on your life's path. It's in these moments of stillness that you can hear the wisdom of your soul. And it's through this connection that you begin to realize that you are never truly alone. The universe is always supporting you, and you are always connected to the greater whole. Letting go of the fear of being alone is also about embracing the unknown. When we are alone, we are often faced with uncertainty about the future, about our choices, about ourselves. But uncertainty is a natural part of life, and it's something that can be embraced rather than feared. When you let go of the need for certainty, you open yourself up to new possibilities, new experiences, and new growth. You begin to trust that life will unfold as it's meant to, and that you are capable of navigating whatever comes your way. Ultimately, letting go of the fear of being alone is about learning to love and accept yourself fully. It's about realizing that you are enough just as you are, and that your worth is not dependent on anyone else. When you embrace solitude, you begin to see it as a time of self-discovery, healing, and empowerment. You realize that being alone is not something to be feared, but something to be cherished. It's a time to honor yourself, to listen to your own heart, and to walk your path with grace and confidence. So the next time you find yourself alone, instead of feeling afraid or uneasy, take a deep breath and remind yourself of this truth: you are never truly alone. You have the love and support of the universe within you, and you have everything you need to thrive. Embrace the gift of solitude and let it guide you to a deeper sense of peace, self-love, and empowerment. Releasing the need for approval from others is one of the most liberating things you can do for yourself. So many of us spend much of our lives seeking validation from external sources, craving the approval of family, friends, coworkers, and society. We mold our decisions, actions, and even personalities to fit into the expectations of others, hoping that if we receive enough approval, we will finally feel worthy, loved, and accepted. But in truth, the constant pursuit of approval keeps us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and insecurity, preventing us from fully embracing who we are. The need for approval often starts in childhood. As children, we look to our parents, teachers, and caregivers for validation and reassurance. We quickly learn that certain behaviors elicit praise, while others are met with disapproval. Over time, we internalize the idea that our worth is tied to how others perceive us. If we do what pleases others, we are good and deserving of love. If we disappoint or stray from their expectations, we are bad and unworthy. This pattern can persist into adulthood, where we continue to seek approval in various aspects of our lives, our careers, relationships, appearance, and even our personal goals. However, seeking approval from others is like chasing a moving target. People's opinions and expectations can change constantly, and what satisfies one person might not satisfy another. The more we seek validation from external sources, the more disconnected we become from our own needs, desires, and truth. We may find ourselves compromising our values, neglecting our own happiness, and suppressing our authentic selves just to win approval from others. But the truth is, no amount of external validation can fill the void created by a lack of self-acceptance. When we base our self-worth on the approval of others, we give away our personal power. We allow others to dictate how we should feel about ourselves and what choices we should make. This can lead to feelings of frustration, resentment, and even burnout as we continually try to live up to others' expectations rather than following our own path. Moreover, living for approval often breeds a deep sense of insecurity. Even when we receive praise or validation, the satisfaction is fleeting because it is dependent on something outside of ourselves. We may constantly worry about losing others' approval or not being good enough. To release the need for approval, we must first recognize that true self-worth comes from within. It's about knowing that you are enough just as you are, regardless of what anyone else thinks or says. This requires a fundamental shift in mindset, moving away from external validation and towards self-acceptance. It's about embracing who you are, flaws and all, and understanding that your value is not determined by others' opinions. Your worth is inherent, and it is not something that can be given or taken away by anyone else. One of the first steps to letting go of the need for approval is to start cultivating self-awareness. Take time to reflect on your own beliefs, desires, and values. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? What makes me feel fulfilled? What are my core values? These questions help you reconnect with your authentic self and clarify what is truly important to you. When you have a clear sense of your own identity and values, you are less likely to be swayed by the opinions of others. Another important aspect of releasing the need for approval is learning to set healthy boundaries. When we are constantly seeking approval, we often find ourselves saying yes to things we don't want to do, agreeing to others' requests even when they don't align with our own needs or values. This can leave us feeling overwhelmed, drained, and resentful. Setting boundaries means being honest with yourself and others about what you are willing and able to do. It's about prioritizing your own well-being and recognizing that it's okay to say no without feeling guilty or fearing disapproval. In addition to setting boundaries, it's essential to practice self-compassion. Many of us are our own harshest critics, holding ourselves to impossibly high standards in an attempt to gain approval. But the truth is, we are all human, and we all make mistakes. Instead of seeking perfection, practice accepting yourself as you are, with all your imperfections. Be kind to yourself and remember that you are worthy of love and acceptance, not because of what you do or how well you meet others' expectations, but simply because you exist. A major part of letting go of the need for approval is learning to trust yourself. Trusting yourself means having confidence in your own decisions, even when others may not agree with or understand them. It means listening to your intuition and following your inner guidance rather than constantly seeking outside opinions. The more you practice trusting yourself, the more empowered you will feel. Over time, you will develop a stronger sense of inner security, and you'll no longer feel the need to rely on others for validation. It's also important to remember that no one else's opinion of you can ever define your true worth. People's opinions are often shaped by their own beliefs, experiences, and biases, and they may not always reflect who you truly are. Moreover, approval is often conditional based on whether you conform to others' expectations or meet their standards. But true self-worth is unconditional. It doesn't depend on external factors, and it doesn't change based on others' opinions. When you embrace this truth, you free yourself from the need for approval and begin to live authentically. Letting go of the need for approval doesn't mean you won't still value connection or seek feedback from others. It's natural to want to feel connected and appreciated by the people in your life. But the key difference is that your sense of self-worth will no longer be dependent on their approval. You will be able to engage with others from a place of wholeness rather than seeking validation or trying to prove your worth. As you release the need for approval, you will notice a profound shift in your life. You will feel more confident, more empowered, and more at peace with who you are. You will begin to live in alignment with your own truth, making choices that honor your values and desires. You will no longer be held back by the fear of disapproval or rejection. Instead, you will move through life with a sense of inner freedom, knowing that you are enough exactly as you are. And that in itself is the most powerful form of approval you can ever receive, the approval that comes from within. Affirming your strength is a transformative act that goes beyond mere words. It's about recognizing and embracing the power within you, even when life feels overwhelming. Too often we overlook our own resilience and capabilities, focusing instead on our weaknesses, failures, or the challenges that confront us. Yet within each of us lies a core of strength that, when acknowledged and nurtured, can help us navigate any obstacle and live with greater confidence and purpose. The world we live in frequently sends messages that undermine our sense of strength. From childhood, we may receive cues that others know better than we do, that we are not enough, or that we must meet certain standards to be considered successful or strong. Over time, these external influences can cloud our perception of ourselves, making us doubt our own abilities and second-guess our decisions. But the truth is, no one knows your journey better than you do. No one else can define your strength because it is a unique part of who you are, rooted in your experiences, your struggles, and your triumphs. Affirming your strength begins with a deep acknowledgement that you are stronger than you may realize. It means shifting your focus away from external validation and learning to recognize the power that resides within you. This strength is not about perfection or having all the answers. It's not about being invincible or never feeling fear or doubt. Rather, it is about resilience, the ability to rise again after setbacks, to keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear, and to trust that you have the inner resources to overcome life's challenges. One of the first steps in affirming your strength is to reflect on your past. Think about the times in your life when you faced adversity, when you were challenged in ways that seemed insurmountable, yet you found a way through. Perhaps you overcame a difficult situation at work, navigated a painful relationship, or dealt with a personal loss. These experiences, while difficult, are evidence of your strength. They show that you have the ability to endure, adapt, and grow, even in the face of hardship. Too often we minimize these moments or take them for granted, but they are powerful reminders of what we are capable of. When you affirm your strength, you are also affirming your ability to learn and grow. Strength is not a fixed trait that some people have and others do not. It is something that can be cultivated and expanded. Each time you face a challenge, you have the opportunity to build your strength, to learn new skills, and to develop a deeper sense of resilience. Even when things don't go as planned or when you feel like you've failed, you are still growing. The important thing is to recognize that your strength is not diminished by mistakes or failures. Instead, it is often through these very experiences that you become stronger. A key aspect of affirming your strength is learning to trust yourself. Trusting yourself means believing that you are capable of making good decisions even when others might doubt you. It means listening to your intuition and following your inner guidance rather than constantly seeking approval or reassurance from others. The more you practice trusting yourself, the more confident you will become in your own abilities. You will begin to realize that you don't need to have everything figured out all at once. You have the strength to navigate life's uncertainties and to trust the process, knowing that you will find your way. Part of affirming your strength also involves taking ownership of your narrative. Too often we allow others to define us our strengths, our weaknesses, our worth based on their perceptions or expectations. But only you can define your strength. You are the one who knows the full story of your life, the challenges you faced, and the inner battles you fought. When you take ownership of your narrative, you reclaim your power. You stop letting others' opinions or judgments dictate how you feel about yourself. Instead, you choose to see yourself as strong, capable, and worthy, regardless of what others may think or say. Another important part of affirming your strength is practicing self-compassion. Strength is often associated with toughness, with being able to push through no matter what. But true strength also involves being gentle with yourself, especially in times of difficulty. It means recognizing that you are human, that you have limits, and that it's okay to ask for help when you need it. Self-compassion allows you to acknowledge your struggles without judgment, to give yourself permission to rest, and to treat yourself with kindness even when things are hard. This kind of inner gentleness is not a sign of weakness, it is a reflection of deep inner strength. Affirming your strength also requires setting boundaries. Often we weaken our sense of strength by overextending ourselves, saying yes when we really mean no, or allowing others to drain our energy. Strength is not about doing it all or pleasing everyone. It's about knowing your limits and protecting your own well-being. Setting boundaries allows you to preserve your energy, focus on what truly matters to you, and create space for the things that nourish and uplift you. When you honor your boundaries, you are affirming that your needs and well-being are important, and you are reinforcing your inner strength. Another powerful way to affirm your strength is through positive affirmations. Affirmations are simple, yet profound statements that reinforce a belief in your own abilities. By regularly affirming statements like "I am strong, I can handle whatever comes my way," or "I trust myself," you begin to reprogram your mind to recognize and embrace your strength. These affirmations can be especially helpful during challenging times when you may feel overwhelmed or unsure of yourself. By repeating them, you remind yourself of your inner power and reinforce the belief that you are capable of handling any situation. Ultimately, affirming your strength is about recognizing that you are enough just as you are. You don't need to prove your strength to anyone, and you don't need to meet anyone else's expectations. Your strength is inherent. It's a part of who you are, and it's something that can grow and expand as you move through life. When you affirm your strength, you are choosing to see yourself as capable, resilient, and worthy of all the good that life has to offer. By affirming your strength, you begin to shift your perspective. You stop focusing on your limitations and start seeing the possibilities. You become more confident in your ability to handle life's challenges, and you start to approach each day with a sense of empowerment. You realize that no matter what comes your way, you have the strength to rise, to overcome, and to thrive. And that realization, that deep belief in your own strength, is one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself. Embracing the power of healing is one of the most transformative experiences you can allow yourself to have. Healing is not just about mending what is physically broken or recovering from illness. It is a holistic process that involves the mind, body, and spirit. Healing encompasses letting go of past traumas, releasing emotional pain, forgiving yourself and others, and reconnecting with your inner strength. It is an ongoing journey of self-discovery, self-love, and growth that leads to inner peace and wholeness. Many of us carry wounds that we don't fully acknowledge, wounds that have shaped the way we see ourselves in the world. These wounds can come from a variety of sources: childhood experiences, broken relationships, disappointments, failures, or losses. We may think that by ignoring or suppressing these painful memories, we can move forward. However, unhealed wounds remain within us, affecting our thoughts, behaviors, and relationships, even if we don't consciously realize it. Embracing the power of healing begins with the willingness to confront these wounds, to bring them to light, and to give ourselves the permission to heal. Healing requires courage because it involves facing pain. It can be difficult to look at the parts of ourselves that feel broken or vulnerable. We may have been taught to be strong and push through difficult times without acknowledging how we truly feel. But true strength lies in allowing ourselves to feel our emotions fully, to grieve when necessary, and to give ourselves the space to heal. Avoiding pain or burying it deep inside only prolongs suffering. By allowing yourself to feel the pain, you take the first step toward healing. It is through this process of feeling that you can begin to release the emotional weight you've been carrying and open yourself up to healing. Forgiveness is a vital part of the healing process. Many of us hold on to anger, resentment, or guilt, whether it's directed toward ourselves or others. We may feel justified in our pain, believing that holding on to these negative emotions protects us or keeps us safe. However, in reality, these emotions can imprison us, keeping us trapped in a cycle of hurt. Forgiveness is not about excusing someone else's actions or pretending that what happened didn't matter. Instead, it is about freeing yourself from the grip of the past. When you forgive, you release the power that the past has over you. You let go of the emotional chains that bind you to old wounds, and in doing so, you create space for healing and peace. Equally important is the act of forgiving yourself. We often carry deep feelings of guilt, shame, or regret for things we've done or failed to do. This self-blame can be a major obstacle to healing. To truly embrace the power of healing, you must extend compassion to yourself. Recognize that you are human, that you've made mistakes, but also that you have the capacity to learn and grow from those experiences. Self-forgiveness is a profound act of healing because it allows you to release the negative beliefs you may hold about yourself and instead embrace self-acceptance and love. Healing is not a linear process, it's a journey that unfolds in its own time. There may be days when you feel like you've made significant progress and other days when old wounds resurface, making you feel as though you're back at square one. This is a normal part of healing. It's important to be patient and gentle with yourself as you move through this process. Healing takes time, and each step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Trust that even on the difficult days, you are still moving toward greater wholeness and inner peace. Another essential aspect of embracing the power of healing is recognizing the connection between your mind, body, and spirit. These three components are deeply intertwined, and true healing requires nurturing all aspects of yourself. Emotional wounds can manifest as physical symptoms, just as physical illness can affect your mental and emotional well-being. Therefore, healing must be approached holistically. For the body, this might involve taking care of your physical health, whether that means eating nourishing foods, getting regular exercise, practicing yoga, or ensuring you get enough rest. For the mind, healing might involve practices like meditation, therapy, journaling, or mindfulness techniques to quiet negative thoughts and develop a greater sense of inner calm. Spiritually, healing can involve connecting with something greater than yourself, whether that's through prayer, meditation, time in nature, or simply tuning into your own intuition and inner wisdom. One of the most powerful ways to embrace healing is to connect with your inner self, the part of you that remains whole and pure despite life's challenges. Beneath the layers of hurt, fear, and doubt, there is a part of you that is untouched by trauma or pain. This is your true self, the essence of who you are. When you reconnect with this part of yourself, you begin to see that healing is not about becoming something new or fixing what is broken. It's about returning to your true nature, to the wholeness that has always been within you. As you go through the healing process, you may find that your perspective on life begins to shift. What once seemed unbearable may now feel lighter. Relationships that were fraught with tension may start to improve as you release old resentments. You may even begin to notice more joy and peace in your daily life as you let go of the emotional burdens you've been carrying. Healing has a ripple effect. It not only transforms your inner world, but also your outer experience of life. Embracing the power of healing also opens you up to greater love and compassion for others. When you heal yourself, you develop a deeper understanding of the pain that others may be experiencing. This allows you to be more empathetic, patient, and supportive in your relationships. Healing yourself is, in many ways, a gift to those around you because it allows you to show up as your best, most authentic self. When you are healed, you have more love to give, more peace to share, and more wisdom to offer. In the end, healing is a journey towards self-love. It's about accepting yourself as you are, acknowledging your wounds, and taking steps to nurture and care for yourself. It's about believing that you are worthy of healing, deserving of peace, and capable of transforming your pain into something beautiful. When you embrace the power of healing, you reclaim your power, and in doing so, you open yourself to a life filled with greater joy, freedom, and fulfillment. Healing is not just a destination, it's a journey, one that brings you closer to the truth of who you are. Celebrating your independence is one of the most empowering and transformative acts of self-love and personal growth. Independence is not just about standing on your own 2 feet or making decisions without the influence of others. It's about recognizing your ability to create the life you want, trusting in your capacity to meet your own needs, and embracing the freedom to be fully and authentically yourself. It's the realization that you are enough, just as you are, and that your happiness, fulfillment, and peace come from within, not from external sources. In a world where we are often conditioned to rely on others for validation, approval, or even happiness, the journey to independence can be a radical departure from the norm. We are taught from a young age to seek guidance from authority figures, to follow societal expectations, and to look outside of ourselves for direction. But true independence is about reclaiming your personal power and recognizing that you are the author of your own life. It's about stepping into the driver's seat and charting a course that aligns with your values, desires, and authentic self. To celebrate your independence, you must first acknowledge that you are fully capable of making your own decisions and shaping your own path. This means trusting yourself, your intuition, your judgment, and your inner wisdom. Too often we second-guess ourselves, seeking reassurance from others or deferring to their opinions out of fear of making the wrong choice. But deep down, you already know what is best for you. You have within you the knowledge and insight to make decisions that serve your highest good. By trusting yourself, you affirm your independence and send a powerful message to the universe that you are in control of your life. Part of celebrating your independence is recognizing that you do not need to rely on external validation to feel worthy or successful. Many of us spend a significant portion of our lives seeking approval from others, whether it's from family, friends, colleagues, or society at large. We may conform to expectations or make choices that are more about pleasing others than staying true to ourselves. But the more we seek validation from outside sources, the more we distance ourselves from our true selves. Independence means letting go of the need for approval and recognizing that your worth is intrinsic. You are valuable simply because you exist, not because of what others think of you. Independence also involves embracing the freedom to be yourself without apology or explanation. This means owning your unique qualities, quirks, and perspectives and standing confidently in your truth, even when it doesn't align with others' expectations. It's easy to fall into the trap of trying to fit into molds that others have created for us, but true independence is about breaking free from those molds and living authentically. When you celebrate your independence, you give yourself permission to be exactly who you are without compromising or shrinking yourself to fit in. You embrace the beauty of your individuality and honor the path that only you can walk. Financial independence is another important aspect of celebrating your autonomy. Being financially independent means having the resources and stability to support yourself without relying on others. It gives you the freedom to make choices based on what you truly want, rather than out of necessity or dependence. Achieving financial independence requires responsibility, planning, and discipline, but it also brings a profound sense of empowerment. It allows you to take control of your life and make decisions that align with your goals and values. Whether you are working toward financial independence or have already achieved it, celebrating this aspect of your life reinforces your sense of self-sufficiency and personal power. One of the most liberating aspects of independence is the ability to cultivate and nurture your own happiness. Many people believe that happiness comes from external factors, relationships, career success, material possessions, but true happiness is an inside job. Independence means recognizing that you are responsible for your own joy and that no one else can provide it for you. It's about learning to find contentment within yourself, regardless of your circumstances or what others may or may not offer you. This doesn't mean isolating yourself or rejecting the love and support of others, but it does mean understanding that your happiness is ultimately up to you. Celebrating your independence also means embracing the freedom to make mistakes and learn from them. Independence is not about always getting it right or being perfect. It's about having the courage to take risks, make decisions, and chart your own course, even if that means occasionally stumbling along the way. Mistakes are an inevitable part of growth, and they offer valuable lessons that help you become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. When you celebrate your independence, you also celebrate your capacity to learn, adapt, and grow from your experiences. You understand that mistakes do not define you, they are simply stepping stones on your journey of self-discovery. Another key aspect of independence is setting and honoring your own boundaries. Being independent means knowing your limits and taking responsibility for your well-being by establishing clear boundaries in your relationships, work, and personal life. It's about recognizing that you have the right to say no to things that do not serve you, and that doing so is an act of self-respect, not selfishness. When you set boundaries, you protect your energy, time, and emotional health, allowing you to focus on what truly matters to you. Celebrating your independence means standing firm in your boundaries and knowing that you deserve to prioritize your own needs. Independence is not synonymous with isolation. Celebrating your independence does not mean that you have to do everything on your own or reject the support of others. In fact, independence often leads to deeper, healthier relationships because you are able to connect with others from a place of wholeness rather than need. When you are independent, you can engage in relationships that are based on mutual respect, trust, and genuine connection, rather than dependency or obligation. Celebrating your independence means valuing the relationships in your life that uplift and support you, while also recognizing that you are complete and whole on your own. Ultimately, celebrating your independence is about embracing the freedom to live life on your own terms. It's about knowing that you have the power to create a life that reflects your true self, your values, and your dreams. It's about trusting in your ability to navigate challenges, make decisions, and cultivate happiness from within. Independence is a gift that allows you to step into your power, honor your uniqueness, and live authentically. When you celebrate your independence, you affirm your worth, your strength, and your capacity to live a life of freedom, fulfillment, and joy. In celebrating your independence, you are not only honoring your personal journey, but also inspiring others to embrace their own. Your willingness to stand in your truth and live with authenticity empowers those around you to do the same. Independence is a ripple effect. It starts within, but its impact reaches far beyond yourself. By celebrating your independence, you create a life that is true to you, and in doing so, you become a beacon of empowerment and freedom for others to follow.